Welcome back everyone. Today we're in the Giants editor. I'm Jewel, and as you can see we're going to be doing a little work on the Jewel's Peaceful Valley map. We painted out a little bit on our fields where we considering them to put them, and obviously the road will be a little painted a little different. We may end up eventually moving it just a little bit when we actually do the roads, um, but for now that's pretty much just giving us an idea of what we're going to do. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's doing good. Appreciate everybody else that's been staying tuned. Let's go ahead and hop down here. I want to go on and put a field in and a house, I think, or at least, well, what we might not put the house in yet. We'll just mark it out where it's gonna go. So we have this house. We'll have to change this road up. So we will have to do that. I guess we should do it a little bit. Let's go ahead and put it on sculpt mode. We're gonna click right here to level it to this level. Control R as in Richard. That's going to grab these numbers. And if you have it on replace on the left mouse button, that will make sure that when you left click here, those numbers you just grabbed to signify the level of this ground will transfer that information to make this ground come up to that level, or if it was higher it would go down to that level. So you can see it come up to that. So we're just going to come across a little bit. We don't want to go far. We're just going to get that little piece situated a little more, and then we're going to smooth, and I have the mouse button on the bottom one, the right one on smooth, and we're just going to smooth that part. And we're just trying to get this piece where the road will be right when we drive over it. And then we got to fix this piece, obviously. And a house or shed we'll have to adjust more potentially. So we're just trying to do it easy. Alright, we're just trying to make sure the road is appropriate, that you drive over the road, and then you're at the right angle, to drive over a road. We don't want it all crooked. It's a little high on that side, but let's shift that just a teeny bit. We'll shrink this down a little. I'll do it just a little bit right there. There we go. Alright, let's get on where we can actually try to see what's going on. Sometimes you have to go over it several times, and we're not necessarily going to do this whole piece yet, I don't think. Let's look at it. Well, it is pretty rough, ain't it? Pretty rough. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and do it, at least part of it. We're going to hit Control R. We want this piece. Okay, that was a bad spot to pick. Control R a little higher. So we're going to try to level this. This is going to be a house. We don't want to go too far, but we're going to get it across the road, pull it this way. We don't care about the hill. We want the hill, if you get what I'm saying. So, and then we'll get it over here. We're smoothing that with the right mouse button now. And we're trying to stay away from the road here so we don't knock that corner down. Then you come across on that side where the road is dipping or what have you. And you just keep smoothing away from the road, just right there. And then back over here. Alright, now let's try it, see if it's any better. So when we come here, we'll see there's going to be, this goes up, there'll be a house up here. So for the most part, we're going to have to smooth this piece again. So this part has to come down a little. That's okay. We'll see how that looks once we get it all situated. I think too bad. Should be okay. If we have to fix it, we can. And then we have a house, and I think the road is pretty okay. This side's not perfect. Looks like we're going to have to deal with it. Let's see what we got here. I see. So let's deal with this side a little bit more. We're going to bring that piece up and then smooth some more. And that ought to take care of that road for us. There we go. Smooth this side a little better. And we should be alright. For the most part, like I say, I'm not doing the actual putting down on the roads yet. We'll be doing that with the Spline Street Constructor most likely, unless I decide to do it in Blender, or we'll see what I decide. I hadn't really thought much about it lately, just getting this going here. If you're new, this is just my map. Oh, I think I went too far. Let's undo that. Yeah, let's go to about right there and fix just down here. Because I don't want to knock that top piece down, because then it's not going to be flat again. There we go. It's decent. It ain't perfect, but it's decent. This just makes it look crooked, and you're not really going to be worried about that little speck. Alright, now this side needs to come up some. Or down, either one. We'll bring it to this level, put it here. Control R as in Richard. Come across. Now we'll smooth this into this into that. Fix this again. Just fix it on this side. Back up on that side again. We should be alright. So basically it comes down that hill, and then you're on a little flat piece for a second. And then you see there's this land, and there's a house, and there's a shed potentially going to be there. So that part's okay. Then you come along, go down that hill. So this side looks like it's not quite there yet. We'll smooth it just a teeny bit. Try to get that under control. We'll be careful not to smooth it too much. I think that's decent for now, till we actually won't worry with the road. And then of course it gets on down to this, and we'll change it, and we may move it over. It might not be that close to there, or it might. And I'm thinking about, I'm just going to run it straight, right on through. I'm trying to decide where I really want a bridge at. I don't know if I'm going to run it. These are temporary bridges that I laid there. I don't know if I want to run it straight past here and straight across right here. That might be what I do, and then also have it where you can just go around and get off over here somewhere. I'm not sure on the bridges yet. I will have to have something here. So whatever I do with this, I might start curving it here, and then you can turn here, and then or go straight. And if you go straight, you'll probably come across right here, or off to the side of this here. So not sure. But you can see some of the fields. These round ones probably not going to be there. I was just showing examples on a previous episode for people. These will all be probably different, most likely. And you can see these we're planning on have as fields. We'll have to adjust a little bit here or there. But anyway, let's get back down here so we can get to work. All this stuff will be moved. Some of it I gotta check, make sure I'm not moving too much stuff, because that can happen if you're not careful. So as you can see, we got a nice little road here that we'll be able to make, and we got this good little gully here, and I'm probably just gonna turn it into a field, and then I might put a building or something up here. I don't know if I want a business here across from this one, so I hadn't decided on that yet. I'll have to think on that one. The house for this field is going to be over here, so I'm thinking you come down this hill here. See, you're coming right here, and there's a house. So there'll be a house here. So let's get the paint and then grab this concrete. Control R grabs that, whatever you're hovering your little cursor over. So if I hit Control R as in Richard right over the concrete, it'll grab the concrete. And if you roll down in this list here, you'll see it says concrete. And if I hover over this dirt and hit Control R as in Richard, Control R as in Richard, you'll see it popped to dirt. If I was hovering over it where this line is in the center of this circle. So come back over here, hit Control R, and it turns to concrete again. Or you can click the list and roll up and down the scroll wheel and pick what you want. So now we have that, so we're just going to throw a little spot here that says, hey, there's going to be a house here, and potentially a shed. Either or, and or both, or one or the other, or whatever. So that's on a flat piece. Obviously it'll be closer If it needs to be over a little, it will be. It could be over a little further. But anyway, then we'll have the field area here that goes to that house. But once we pass that, we want to probably put a business here. So I don't know yet what, if any. I hadn't decided that yet. So, or I may not do a business at all there and just make it farm stuff. I don't know. I'm just gonna stick some concrete here and just mimic what an area for a building would be, and just be like, okay, well, there's probably gonna be a building here, and then that's just gonna give me that idea, so I'll know just to remember that most likely that's what I'm gonna do here, and we have it kind of marked out just a little bit. And obviously, some of it can disappear and shrink it, or it doesn't have to be like that. That's just giving me a basic idea of, hey, this little area here is going to be a building. We could cut off this piece if it's in the way. Actually, it's a little lower than I want it, so we're going to get rid of some of that. We'll grab this green, Control R as in Richard, knock some of that back. We don't want it too close to there. Whoop, that's alright. We'll grab this and we can fix that. And I gotta move. I gotta turn this off so I can move. There we go. And we'll fix that. Kinda, sorta. It's not that big a deal. Some of that's a different color, which really don't matter right now. It's not important. As you can see, we don't even know how big our road will be. We'll just decide all that as we go. This is just to get me to where I can mold the ground so it is at least natural. And if it's smaller of a road, which it could well be, we may make a narrow road, then at least we have room for sidewalks or ditches or, whatever. So it's not going to be a bad thing that it's wider. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and paint a field in. And I'm trying to decide. I was thinking of this. See this here? This piece? That's going to be trees, okay? So it's kind of dividing out a little bit of that. These two, this is going to be a shed and a house. It's going to go to these two pieces of land. This is going to be a shed and a house, these two circles, and it's going to go to this piece of land. And then, and it may include the woods or not. We might include the woods on this piece. And then we got these two are going to go to this and this potentially. Either or, I'm not sure which. Probably this one, so it can be a little more just like that, but we'll see. And then we're going to have this house and shed here on these two circles go to this field in this gully. So right now what we got to figure out is how do we want to paint that. So let's come down a little bit so we can see the shape. Okay. And I'm thinking what I want is the woods to be over here as well. So what we're going to do is grab the paintbrush and we're going to put it on the round brush type right there. We're going to roll up the scroll wheel so that it can be bigger. And then we're just going to click over this little area, Control R, to grab that forest area, and we're going to let it know, hey, we're over here and this is going to be forest stuff. Now I don't want to get too close to the, well, that was a little close. We'll have to back off of that when we get over there, but you get the point. It's going to be some woods down there, woods right there. And I'm thinking I'm going to roll this down a little bit. I think I'm going to bring the woods down over here. We'll have to get some of that off, obviously. It's a little too close, but you get the point. Just have a little back piece to it. And it probably won't go all the way that far. We'll probably have to grab some of this grass and take some of that away. We don't want to go too far. We'll see how far we actually end up going with it. How close it is to the field or whatever. And remember, this area is bigger than you can tell here. So this is going to be quite different than you see. So Don't always go by that because it may not be what it seems. See? So we're just going to put some of that there just to give it some sort of a shape here. We can give that a little bit more back, but not get too close to the field and stuff like that. Alright, so that can be a wooded area that we can potentially tend to. And we can just say, oh look, that's blocking this place. It comes down this gully, blocks off that place, comes up here, is a big old forest, what have you. We may even run it down further if we want. If we don't want a field here, but we'll see. We're not going to put any trees there right now. That's just giving us the idea. Alright, now that we have that shape, we can paint in the field how we want it. And potentially we might even make it more curved. Let me think. No, I don't want to go too far with that because we need it to have some sort of shape. Alright, we're going to grab the dirt that we've been painting the fields by hitting the Control R thing. And then we're just going to click here and give an idea of kind of where that might go. And then just say, hey, that turns. And then it could go back over here. We'll have to change it up if we need to. And there we go. That looks like a piece of bread almost. Like if you slice a piece of bread. That's funny. And remember, we can change anything that's too close. If we don't like something, we can say, well, we could grab the grass here. We could do whatever we need to do. And just follow this piece and kind of shape it up more. Give us a little more grass over here. It just really depends on how you want to do it. It's not that big a deal. Alright. And this side can be more trees if we need it, but it's bigger than it looks once you get it going. Alright, so now this piece is a field. Let's go look at it and see where it ends up at, if it's in a shape that we like. That's alright. I think it'll be okay. You know, you're driving up here. You're coming down. There's trees. There's grass. Wait, see how far it is? And if you're in game, it's even further. I'm going to hit this little eye up here. If you're new, you click this eyeball at the top up here and it drops you down. Make sure you're above the map when you do it. And you can do like you're in the game. You can look at it like you're in the game. But that looks okay. I mean, it could be a field. We might curve the corner off if we don't like that, but I think that's okay. Whoops. And you hit escape when you don't want to do it anymore. I bumped something, I think, so we don't want to keep messing with that. We could cut this corner off if we don't like it going up that part of the hill. Let me look at it. I mean, then we would just be curving up over there, which is big enough. What do you think? We really don't want it too close to this guy. Let's just look at it and see. I don't know if I like that idea or not. Let me think about it. I gotta get closer so I can see the curve that I want to do. Alright. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Well, you don't do that. I didn't want to take it all away. I just wanted to do a curve. And then I'm gonna fix it over here like that. And do it, make it a different shape. Like so. There we go. It's a pretty good sized field. Let's get this grass again and we can try to knock it into a better curve right here. I think that'll work. I mean, this side looks like it needs some sort of shape. We could almost make it look like a glove, but I don't know how much of this I want to take away. Maybe just a hair. Something like so. It's kind of hard. It doesn't really do right. There we go. And always remember to save every now and again as you're working. You don't want to do a whole ton of work and and not save. If you know you're satisfied with something you just did, go ahead and save it. Cause, but if you're not satisfied, go a little further. But cause if you want to keep undoing, at some point you'll run into an issue. But you shouldn't, for the most part. So I wouldn't worry too much. But this is gonna go with these. We could even scoot them over further if we need to. Like I say, that's gonna go with them. And then you got this little gully here. We'll have grass or trees up in here. We could do that now, I guess. Let's do a little bit of trees in there. Because we don't have a lot of trees yet, or at least marked out as trees. And we'll fix it if that's too much. We're not that worried about it. If it's too close, we can always move it. We can bring this piece in a little. And then bring that part out a little. Let's get this grass here and try to curve it right there. There we go. And we can just grab this again and do it like that to make the curve better. And hopefully that looks a little better. But we're not into too much of the details of that part yet. Because like I said, we're not really going to do all of that yet. Some of that's going to change. So that can be some trees, potentially. I don't know how close I'll go to the road. This part could change. Let's shrink this down and get a good curve there. Alright. And down we go. So we'll see the field and we'll see trees. Now that might be an issue, being it's a little bit close. See, that's just a little too close for my comfort. It looks like a rabbit. Look, a face, the front legs, and it's sitting down. If it had a little tail back here, it would be have the little tail. Kind of hard to tell it. I'd have to curve this piece up. Let's see. That's too much, ain't it? We curved up the rabbit too much. That's okay. He must be missing some feet or something. We're not trying to make a rabbit. I'm just cutting up. Alright, so let's fix this back. I think we need to make this wider. So let's do that. So we're just going to bring on it. We're not worried so much about the look of that part. We just want this not to be too close to this area. Okay. We'll fix it. We went a little far, but we did it so we could use this here. There we go. And we don't want to go all the way, like I said. Alrighty. And we'll adjust anything later. Like I said, we're just getting going. We're not trying to be perfect. And obviously this, if it's a building, it'll be different. It may be a smaller building and parking lot or whatever. So we got plenty of flat area here. So we can have whatever we need there. So then we're going to have these over here. This could actually be its own place. Let me look where we're at so I can see where we're at and where the road's going to be. Okay, we could run a road by this or through the woods even. We might even put woods on this side a little bit and have a road run down right here, because it's going to come to a house here in the backwoods in the middle of kind of everywhere or out of nowhere. and then the field will be down there. So let's make it like it's a house here. Let's grab that and then just say, hey, somewhere along here is a house in the middle of the woods. Or we could scoot it over a little bit, but typically we're going to bring the road back here. So we'll make another one for a shed, and then the road's going to come from this direction potentially. So I'm just going to pretend and go ahead and grab the road and just pretend, because we don't know exactly where it's going to be, because this road isn't perfectly finalized yet. Just giving it an idea of what we might do. and then it somewhere comes up there. We're going to grab this and paint it on the other side here to say, hey, there's probably going to be some trees, and this road is going to be between the trees. And we might even curve it a little so that you can't see to the house. We'll just see how far we are at that point. And if we want to curve it, we can actually, I think we should curve this like so. We ain't gonna put it that close. Let's fix that. I'm gonna wipe this road away a little bit. I'm gonna whip this back this away because I want the road to come around like so. And we're gonna grab the road. We're gonna bring the road down, and we're gonna say he's coming through the woods, and then he's coming and he's curving, and we're gonna grab the woods here and put it all the way up to there. And that way, then we're gonna put the woods over here on this on either side of the road. We'll have to fix this side. We went too far, but I'll fix it. But get the point. You get the point. There'll be woods surrounding the road. Okay, so now we got to fix this side again. We're gonna grab the grass. We're gonna get rid of that piece because I went too far. And then we're gonna grab this, and this road is gonna go straight on wherever in the world it goes. Okay, you get the idea. It's just gonna be a way that it can get back here. So they're gonna be driving through the woods or trees or whatever, and we'll have to adjust the ground obviously, and the mold the ground. But basically they're gonna curve and they're gonna come on down here, and then they gotta go down, then they gotta go up, and there's gonna be trees all around, and they're like, oh, there's the house, there's the shed. And we'll have to decide how the angle needs to be. We actually probably gonna move it. We're gonna make this part go away, and we'll put a shed on the other side potentially, something like over here. Like this is the house, this is the shed. We'll have to adjust the ground obviously because it's not exactly perfect, but you get the point. All right, so then we got a nice little area for a field here. See, so let's get on up there by the house area and see what kind of look we want to see. So we're gonna be angled to where we're drive out of the shed, and that'll be where we are, so we'll be able to see all that. So we can have several shapes if we want on that for a field. And obviously this house will be much smaller probably. So if you look at that house, you can get an idea. You can see, if I hit, just for temporary, if I hit Control D and duplicate it, and then I Control B as in boy, left mouse click, you can notice the size of the house. So that and it'll be bigger. You can put a bigger house, but it's just gonna give you an idea of what you got going on. Pretend it's double that size. And then you got your shed over here, so you can kind of get the feel of what it'll be and what kind of look you're gonna be getting, because your road's gonna be here, so you're gonna be probably have that road turn there to go like a dirt road. So let's do that. Let's make the road go further, but we'll make it smaller because we're not trying to make nothing too big here. It's obviously going to be too big as it is anyway. And he's going to go, this is going to follow the field. So this is going to be your road to tend to the field. And then you're going to be, this is how you get up the hill or whatever. And that's probably too wide. That's just an example. So then you kind of know where you got to paint. So we're just going to paint in and this is probably going to come on over, or we'll leave it as grass, or just however we decide to do it, really. Alright, let's go ahead and grab another field over here, dirt, Control R, and we're just going to decide where our field is actually painted. I think I'm going to curve it up this hill, down, it's going to curve, it's going to come back, and we might even have to do it into two pieces, but I don't know. What should we do? Should we do it into two? Paint it into one and then split it? Because they gotta have grass somewhere. If this is the road, that they're tending to. Obviously, it won't be that big, but you get the point. Let me take some of this away, cause that's just not gonna be that big. Ain't no way. Most likely it won't anyway. Then they got the little road wherever it goes, and then we got this. We'll take from. We can bring this back further, like so. And if we don't like that, we can make the field curve some way to make it smaller. Let's go down and look, see how big it actually feels. Oof, that's a big, pretty good size field there. Should we make it smaller? We certainly could. How far over this hill do we want to go? That's going to be the question. So if we go on over the hill, we could make the field come around and then split it. But how far down do we need to really go is the question. And we could split it maybe some way or another. Not sure how we would want it, or we would do it where the house is facing, something like so. Or I got to think on that one. I don't know where I would want to split it, because you got the hill there, and you want to kind of keep that into its own piece, you know. And we would have to smooth it down a little more, obviously, since it's so steep. But we might not. It ain't too bad, I don't think. Let me look. So you got all this grass up here. You come out. Obviously, some of this is going to be grass too. And you look, and there's your field. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you're driving, you're going to drive beside it. Yeah, that's okay over here. What if we split it right up the hill in the middle? Let me see. Let me come up a little higher so I can actually see. We could split it there. Let me look. Control R and split it on the top of the hill. Let's see. Or we could split it here at the bottom of the hill. Let's just try here at the bottom of the hill. Let's go smaller. And then curve. And then curve it. And curve this piece. And curve that piece. And then this piece will have to be done something with. Because we're going to have to make that curved again. Yeah, like so. Something like that. And all of it's going to change a little bit than that road. When we deal with that, we'll have to curve that some more. We're going to take the road away for just a second. Just for a second. Get that curve going. Now we can bring it back. Probably won't be that big, like I said. That's probably showing a road that's actually bigger than it's probably going to be. Alright, so that'll be a decent shape. And then you have the filled one for the hill still being able to be done. Then you'll have a nice little path here of grass in between. You can get through if you need to. If we have to change anything, we can, and you still do your field on the hill. And if we have to, we can bring it down a little further on the hill. If we don't like that it stops up so far, we can make it go further, potentially. If we want, we can just go ahead and bring it on down a little further to get more to the bottom of a hill. And like I said, it's going to be a lot bigger, so we'll see. We'll check it in game if we like it or not. Then that gets it kind of lower down on the hill. Of course, it's going to be a heck of a hill. So we'll have to check it in game, and if I have to, I can get it to come down a little. But I'll wait till I drive in the game to check that, and you can tell that this is also going to be pretty big. Like I said, on the road, we'll see. We'll have to adjust the road angle a little bit. But there's that. So we did quite a bit. I don't want to make the episode too long because we did these houses, this field, this, and all this, these two fields, that square. We did all this. So it's quite a bit for one episode. So I guess I'm going to back out and have a look at it a little bit better. We got to deal with them trees. That was a tutorial I had done. I saw that's there. And this will be changed up a little bit. So. But anyway, we did all that. We got a lot done. That's a good bit of stuff done right there. That's a lot. So we're gonna call that episode here. I'm gonna go ahead and knock that house off of there. Okay, there we go. But I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.